walked through the trees, he left a trail of crumbs behind him to mark the way. But the little boy had forgotten about the hungry birds that lived in the forest. When they saw him, they flew along behind and in no time had eaten all the crumbs. Again, with a lame excuse, the woodcutter left his 2 children by themselves. "I've left a trail like last time," Hansel whispered to Gretel consolingly, but when night fell, they saw to their horror that all the crumbs had gone. "I'm frightened," wept Gretel bitterly. "I'm cold and hungry, and I want to go home." "Don't be afraid. I'm here to look after you." Hansel tried to encourage his sister, but he too shivered when he glimpsed frightening shadows and evil eyes around them in the darkness. All night the 2 children huddled together for warmth at the foot of a large tree. When dawn broke, they started to wander about the forest, seeking a path, but all hope soon faded. They were well and truly lost. On they walked and walked, till suddenly they came upon a strange cottage in the middle of a glade. "This is chocolate," gasped Hansel as he broke a lump of plaster from the wall. "And this is icing," exclaimed Gretel, putting another piece of wall in her mouth. Starving but delighted, the children began to eat pieces of candy broken off the cottage. "Isn't this delicious?" said Gretel, with her mouth full. She had never tasted anything so nice. "We'll stay here," Hansel declared, munching a bit of nugget. They were just about to try a piece of the biscuit door when it quietly swung open. "Well, well," said an old woman, peering out with a crafty look, "and haven't you children a sweet tooth?" Come in, you've nothing to fear," went on the old woman. Unluckily for Hansel and Gretel, however, the sugar candy cottage belonged to an old witch, her trap for catching unwary victims. The 2 children had come to a really nasty place. "You've nothing but skin and bones," said the witch, locking Hansel into a cage. "I shall fatten you up and eat you." "You can do the housework," she told Gretel grimly. "Then I'll make a meal of you 2. As luck would have it, the witch had very bad eyesight, and when Gretel smeared butter on her glasses, she could see even less. "Let me feel your finger," said the witch to Hansel every day to check if he was getting any fatter. Now, Gretel had brought her brother a chicken bone, and when the witch went to touch his finger, Hansel held out the bone. "You're still much too thin," she complained. "When will you become plump?" One day, the witch grew tired of waiting. "Light the oven," she told Gretel. "We're going to have a tasty roasted boy today." A little later, hungry and impatient, she went on. "Run and see if the oven is hot enough." Gretel returned, whimpering. "I can't tell if it is hot enough or not." Angrily, the witch screamed at the little girl. "Useless child. All right, I'll see for myself." But when the witch bent down to peer inside the oven and check the heat, Gretel gave her a tremendous push and slammed the oven door shut. The witch had come to a fit and proper end. Gretel ran to set her brother free, and they made quite sure that the oven door was tightly shut behind the witch. Indeed, just to be on the safe side, they fastened it firmly with a large padlock. Then they stayed for several days to eat some more of the house, till they discovered amongst the witch's belongings a huge chocolate egg. Inside lay a casket of gold coins. "The witch is now burned to a cinder," said Hansel, "so we'll take this treasure with us." They filled a large basket with food and set off into the forest to search for the way home. This time, luck was with them.